Okay, I've got the top marked out. Marked out the cut lines and all the scribe lines. So now I'm just going to use the quarter strap and the mini grinder and cut and scribe everything. Now for a test fit. Now if I did this right, the inside of the joggle joint will be inside the scribe lines. Okay, there's one side set up. And she's just inside the scribe lines. You can just see that scribe line. So we cut it right. Forgot that before I fold these up, I'm going to take my Dremel little wire brush and clean out these joints. Okay, test fit. Okay, front seam is aligned. Pretty close. Front here. Just hold it with my thumbs. I want to tighten this up a little bit with a hammer. before I fold the sides down, I'm gonna knock all the burrs and knock off all the sharp edges here. Okay, I just got the bend started on the side. I'm gonna take my diamond caulk and horseshoe crescent wrench, and I'm just gonna fold the little ears out a little bit and the flanges in a little bit, just to get them started. So when I complete the fold in my box brake, aka my hobby vise, they'll naturally overlap. Like so. Okay, test fit. Here's the lid. Here's the box. Not bad. Let's see if it likes the other way better. Back the other way. Seems to like this way better. Okay. I will heed Fitzy's admonition here. Do the final fit up and matching and tweaking when it's all in assembly. Don't try to do it in separate pieces and then bring them together. You'll never get it right. I find that to be very true. So I'm gonna tweak these around and tweak it and fit it and bend it and just massage it a little bit, and knock the upper flanges flat, and then I'll solder it up. There she is, not cleaned up yet, but joints are soldered. Let's see how she fits. Not bad. Just need a little bit of tweaking here and there, and she'll fit just nice. So I'm gonna tweak up a few of the edges and clean up and sand a few of the seams. Not bad. Clean that up a little bit. Not bad at all. See where our hinge is going to go? The hinge barrel will go right there. she bellied out on me a little bit right here from the heat, so I'm gonna have to tweak that in a little bit. The rest of it looks like it stayed pretty straight and square. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of sanding and filing and grinding and polishing. There's the sanded and smoothed lid, all nice and smooth. Now it's time to look at the inside. So there's the A2. Now we need a divider and something to keep the sander in its place, keep the cord organized, and keep the spare belts organized. So I'm thinking a single divider down the middle, with maybe a hook in the end to pick up the end of the sander. Let me see what I can come up with. Okay, I've decided what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a divider from this wall to the back of the sander and then just wrap around the back and just pick up this point right here to keep it from shifting around. And then I'll put in some felt pucks to protect it from getting scratched. And for height, I want to keep it under this brush holder. So looking like that's about 3.5 tall would do it. Okay, so let's step over to the old and gray engineering department, otherwise known as the floor. And I'm going to make a template out of this cereal box. So I guess this is what Div would call CBAE, Cereal Box Aided Engineering. Half. Then we need a turn of about 2 inches. Put an ear on it to mount it to the bottom. And returns right here. Okay, there it is, taped in place, and I think it's going to work. Room for the sandpaper belts, room for the cord. Cut it, scribed it, cleaned it. Just putting the bends in it. In my finger brake hobby vise. Okay, let's test fit it. It's just about right. Tighten that bend a little bit. Okay, to attach the insert, which now looks like this, I'm going to drill holes and screw it in, so it's easier to finish when it's a separate piece. It's easier to finish the box when it's a separate piece. And I don't want to solder inside of here with all that heat. I could spot solder it from the outside, but I'm going to screw it in. But I'm going to screw it in because of the advantages to finishing. So there it is. Nice sturdy divider. Begin the assembly. Mark the center of the back of the box. Align the piano hinge. And I'm going to mark the centers of the hinge holes with an automatic punch. Drilling clearance holes for number 6 screws. I'm just going to attach the end points of the hinges for now. Make sure I got the hinge in the right way. Yeah. With these little brass screws, I'll get better looking hardware later. Drop one on the floor. Those fingers started, and just snug them down a little bit. Okay. Now we will make sure the lid aligns. Beautiful. I'm going to lay the hinge barrel up against the edge of the sheet metal, fold the hinge down, center it up, mark it, and drill it. Okay, I attached the lid with one screw. I added one more to the bottom. Let's see how she works. A little bit tight. A little bit tight, but it works. Okay, so I'm gonna have to tweak the edge of the lid out a little bit and the edge of the box in a little bit, and tweak the hinge out a little bit just to get it to fit just righteous. So, okay, here's the lid fitted. So the fitting procedure was pretty easy. I stood it on the floor and stood on it right there with my size 10.5 with all my weight, and just bounced on it a couple of times, and she came right in line. Okay, to locate the hinges, I'm going to use the 1/5, 3/5, 1/5 modulus. So if I measure from here to here, it's 15 inches. So every 3 inches on the diagonal, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? And then just measure up and just square up to the square up from the bottom. There's the lines for the centers of the latches. got the latches drilled, but I ran out of hardware. I don't have any more number 6 or number 4 screws laying around, so I can only attach one right now because it's all the hardware I can scrounge up. But you get the idea. So I gotta go to the hardware store and get another handful of nuts and bolts. Okay, struck a line down the center of the box, spaced out the holes for the little hardware store handle here. Just make sure it's got play side to side like this before you screw it down. There it is, all in one piece. Handle works. Hinges bolted on. Latches work. Closes. I just got to decide what I want to do to finish it. I will think about that tonight. And the more I look at this, the less I like it. I think the 2 latches are too much for this little box. I think I'm gonna change my mind and go with 1 latch in the middle, which means I got to take these out and patch the holes up. Let me do that. Okay, so to patch these holes with solder, first of all, clean them up, flux them up, which I've already done, and then get you a piece of material that your flux won't bite. So this is just plain old flux. It won't bite this galvy. So I'll lay that on the inside. I'm gonna use a solder gun this time instead of a torch, although I could use a torch. And just heat just like you would with a torch until the flux starts to boil. This takes a little longer because this is obviously hasn't got as much energy as a torch, but it works. Hear the flux sizzling. Starting to flow. There's one. go, starting to flow. There you go. Let it cool. To finish the spot solders, whatever you want to call them, our friend the angle grinder and a flap wheel. There you go. Just as pretty as you please. Okay, change of approach here. I'm gonna go with this type of simple hasp. And in order to attach it, I'm gonna screw it into the box. So I soldered on this little patch, which is kind of decorative. And I'm gonna drill it and tap it and screw this little hasp directly to the box. Gives it a little bit more of a decorative look. Plus I think it looks better having the one latch than the two. Okay, all in one piece. Handles on, hasp is on, hinges on. Ready for the insert. And we'll just latch her up with this carabiner, also from the hardware store. Might also come in handy for carrying keys or something. There she is. Okay. Time to clean it up, sand it up, and finish it. So what I'm going to do now is take it apart, and I'm going to sand all the surfaces on the exterior, probably to 180, 150 or 180, whatever I got laying around. And the interior, I'll sand it to 60 or 80, again, whatever I got laying around. And then I'm going to give it a coat of some kind of paint, whatever I got laying around. So, finishing is the next step. Okay, now is the time to make sure that all of the edges and joints and everything are smooth to the touch. I'm going to paint the interiors of the box and the lid first before I even sand the outside. This stuff, this weathering steel rusts up so quick, I don't want to wait even half an hour to get it coated. Welcome to the paint studio, also known as my patio. And we are going to paint this inside and out with Italian satin, Italian olive primer paint combo. Why? Because that's what I had laying around. So. Okay, here's my secondary painter's easel here, also known as a cardboard box. Starting final assembly. Start with the insert. And there you have it, all in one piece, finished product. And inside, the Porter cable A2 with room for the cord, extra sanding belts, and maybe a few other accessories. And I just added in some of these little felt bumpers around the sander to protect it from keep it snug and protect the box from hitting it from the box. So there it is. That's something anybody could be proud of. Now, we made it completely from parts and material and tools from the local hardware store. It's made out of 16 gauge steel. We didn't use any sheet metal brake. We didn't use a bead roller. We didn't weld. That's one cute but tough little box. So, well, it's time to move on to the next project. I will see you there and then.